Welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast. This is a show where we aim to educate, inspire and entertain through real life stories and interviews from people in the Scottish property community.
As always, thanks for listening and give us a follow on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to join us at our monthly networking events on the first Wednesday of every month. Tickets are available on our website. So without further ado, we'll just cut straight into this week's podcast. Yes, how you doing, Stephen? Back with another podcast. Just the two of us.
We're back, mate. We're back.
Back from Dubai.
I know, we've had a wee separate trip. How fucking strange is it that we go to Dubai and when you arrive, you're like, oh, here's where I am, and I pretty much could look out my balcony and see your apartment. It's like, what the hell?
Well, I know, it just shows you how little we talk to each other, actually, because we didn't really know when we were going, and then it was only
roughly going to be the summer time.
It's only when I saw you on Instagram that you were out there, I was like, wait a minute.
I'm going in a few days.
And then you're like, you're in the hotel 2 doors down from me, and then I took a picture of your swimming pool from our hotel room, our apartment.
And I was chatting to a podcast listener as well.
That's right, give him a shout out.
I know, some guy started chatting to me in the pool bar, right where you were looking down and took the picture. He just was like, oh, I listen to the Scottish Property Podcast every morning. His wife comes in and he goes, do you know the podcast that comes on in the car when you go in the car? He goes, that fucking annoying one. That's these guys. Actually, funny enough, Nick's just staying up there and I pointed to your apartment as well.
Funny, man. So check you out like a wee celebrity there.
So Kelly was like, Kelly just rolls her eyes. She's like, oh no.
No, it's good, man. I mean, obviously it's good having listeners all over as well. I mean, we've got quite a lot based out in Dubai, UAE and all that. You see from the listener stats.
Well, he's from Dalkeith, but enough. But
do you know what I mean? But obviously there's a lot of expats out there that are working like for various companies and all the rest of it.
There's a lot of investors out there as well that have just relocated and work in their businesses or work in their jobs or...
Aye, so talking about the whole Dubai thing, because it's always a hot topic at the moment with UK entrepreneurs and business people, property people moving out there. Obviously, that was our second time back. Did you feel the second time back? Well, apart from the heat?
It was fucking hot, wasn't it? It was hot. I mean, it was pretty much, 35, 36 degrees during the day. Aye. And then maybe 33 at night.
It was all right inside because it's freezing cold with the aircon. But then you walk out that front door, you get a blast of hair dryer in your face.
You could really only sit by the pool or the beach for a couple of hours before the sweat.
Could you live out
there? I think Maya was quite convinced. She liked it, but yeah, I think it'd be okay to live out there if you were just in and out in the heat every so often, because you'd be mostly inside, you're mostly working or commuting in the car, which was a pain as well. Like we were talking about the driving. I don't know. I don't think it's what everyone's cracked up to be. I don't, like we just sat there this morning. It's a nice crisp morning. We're right at the end of October. I think it was 1 degree when I got up to go to the gym. And it was a beautiful crisp morning. You could breathe in fresh, cold air. Aye. So
you've got the cows in your back fields.
I think I would miss that. Like, yeah. I don't think
See what I thought about it? Well, obviously, like we rented a car out to get about. And I was like, the traffic is insane. I mean, I heard them talk about the Dubai traffic before. We obviously went there in March and we're going places, but you didn't really realise it because you weren't driving. You were just sitting in the back of the taxi and we were probably on our phones, not looking out the window. Do you know what I mean?
You've got the kids going away there yet.
Aye. See, driving through that traffic, that would do my nutting. And then I talk to people, it takes us like 2 hours to get to the school run in the morning. Like, fuck that. Yeah. And then the other thing is as well, I said it before when we went in March, I find the place quite soulless. Yep. In terms of like, there's so many, it's a big melting pot, all different nationalities from all over the world come together. So they struggle to build that kind of sense of community almost. Now, obviously I'm seeing it as a tourist, right? So I might not see it as the locals do. But even like yesterday I was at the Tesco cafe getting a fucking baked potato with chili and cheese. And see, I was just having banter with the women at the till at the counter. And see a wee bit of banter. Yeah. Like, I
was going to say your sense of community, but is your sense of community not warped in Scotland now anyway because of social media and the world is so small that no one really chaps their neighbour's door or speaks to their neighbours. Like they just... your street's good though. I
feel like everybody out there was so just there for a reason. Yeah. Basically to make money.
Yeah.
Right?
Very work.
So they're there for themselves.
Yeah.
It's quite a young crowd as well. You notice there's not many old people out there. But that wee woman at the till yesterday, she brightened up my day because she put a smile on my face. Just a wee bit of chat and a wee bit of banter. Yeah. Never got that once through the whole 9 days that I was there in Dubai. Somebody cracking a joke or something like that.
Aye. Yeah, remember when we were at that day when we were going into the Pier 7 at the marina, and those guys made like a cheeky comment. It was the only thing that I heard almost a bit of banter.
And they were pissed.
But they were pissed, and it was like, I don't know if it was like the safety net off. You can't get a slap in the fucking jaw here because like you're going to get arrested and jailed and everything here. So, but it was nothing. It's a bit flat.
And even if you like,
was it not good for the kids though? Did the kids not enjoy it?
Two days in, Lisa was like, I could see myself moving here because she felt dead safe.
Yes.
Everyone was so safe, and like she was like, this is great, and everything works. There's no fucking potholes.
Yeah.
There's no
so clean.
Waiting about. Everything's so convenient. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously the tax savings could be quite good.
I wondered if you would have liked it, or Lisa would have liked it as well for the kids, because I was trying to say to Maya, like, she was just want to go and get a drink, want to go up to the room. I'm like, go. Here's a card, go to the room, and she's like, what? And she's like, shocked. Like, I'm letting her do this, and I'm like, you can go. Go yourself. Go down the pool. Go and get the towel. Like, go independently. Whereas in the UK, I wouldn't let her go anywhere.
If you've been even in Europe, some places, like if you're in Spain or something, you wouldn't do that. I was the same.
So you did get quite relaxed after a couple of days of just letting the kids kind of almost knowing they were safe. Which there's
but no, it's not for me.
So it's a definite no.
Definite no. Even with the tax savings, mate, it's a definite no. And like I see, like Samuel Leeds has just moved out there as well.
So I did say we should have hooked up that interview with him when we were out there.
So all these, people, I can understand why they're leaving the UK because
it looks like Rob Moore's a way to go as well. He's like, his content seems to be all kind of anti-UK and the collapse of the UK and how good it is out in Dubai.
Oh, we're going to talk about obviously the upcoming budget and some rumours, and obviously there's only one way that the government seem to be going, that is raising taxes, so we'll get on to that. But talking about obviously housing news, let's get on to a wee bit of market update news. So house prices, let's start with house prices. Zoopla, so they've reported that buyer demand is down 8% compared to last year, while sales agreed have fallen 3%, the first annual decline in 2 years. House price inflation is steady at 1.3%. The price is flat in southern England, but rising by more than 2% elsewhere. Now, again, that's the kind of UK-wide stats. When we go into Scotland's one of the regions still seeing stronger sales than a year ago, up 3%. Just shows you that Scotland still performing quite well. Yeah,
still doing well. You can tell the market's slowing down, and you can see a bit of change, a shift change coming in. The data's not really lying.
Have you been speaking to agents about, obviously you've got a couple of sales, well, 3 houses to sell.
So I wanted to put one on the market the day we went to Dubai, to give myself that week to make a decision. And me being the ever optimist, I thought, well, okay, I'll be putting it to a closing date the day I come back, selecting my offer, changing the stage into the next one and getting on the market. And it was rushed to get the last one kind of on the market, so there's bits and pieces snagging that I didn't quite catch and get the guys to do. But it's staged and it's dressed, and I thought people would have overlooked it. Nope, they're all coming out and like, not liking the EPC, not liking the heating, not liking the snagging. I'm like, it's a €100 cottage, it's not a new build for a start, right. And they would get fixed. But there has been a steady amount of, so it's not, maybe not quite the market's condition, maybe it's the fault of mine not just getting it done in enough time. But I'd expected the location, the price point, the affordability price point, and where they are. I expected them to fly. It's quite concerning that they're not flying. I mean, they're it's going to go.
Yeah,
it's almost right like price. It's fine that one's going to go easily, but I need 3 to go. And I expected like a huge demand to go. Oh, there's a massive demand for this location, for this price point, for this standard. But
so what is your strategy with the 3 then, to do them one at a time on the market?
It was going to be one at a time because I didn't want to really just saturate the market. I thought, well, I'll just get one sold, and there's a lot of people miss out on them. Then they might be like, okay, I'll take the next one, and I'll almost create that demand to get the other 2 sold fairly quickly. But the first one's not flying. Steady viewings.
What's the home report value?
240. So it's that affordable. Yeah. Downsizing price point. Young couples, small family.
What's the feedback been so far from the agent?
It's the snagging, which was quite concerning, because I mean I can see the snagging, but usually with the snagging I would like, oh, you dress it, you stage it, you hide it.
What sort of things do you mean by snagging?
The painters, like the joiner hadn't done, like, cut out the facings for like the faceplate, so like they were kind of done last minute, so right. Like the painter's not been around to caulk up around the skirtings and paint that, and like there's bits that would like marked in the ceiling, but it's very minor. But when you go in the front door, you see the first faceplate, and I'm like, yeah, I do notice that. But I would look past it, I would say, do you know what, can they fix that, and I'll offer. But it's like they're just, I don't know.
Surely that's just an excuse for something else.
That's what I thought as well. I thought the price, is it the price point?
Did you say you staged them?
Staged it, yeah.
I can't see that being a deal breaker.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be a deal breaker either. I just thought it'd be one of those things that here's the condition of our offer. Can you get the snagging fixed? Yes, okay.
I take it you're round there with a paintbrush the next day.
Nah, not yet. It's not got the chance to do it. So,
so just have you get kind of squeaky bum time, or are you all right? Are you quite cool about it?
Yeah, because I anticipated when I did the numbers on the 3 houses, it was pretty much 200 grand a pop, 185. 210 and 195. It was round about the 200 grand across the board, and the market, the condition, the location, and the kind of finish saw the valuations come back at 240, 230, and 225. So I got a hell of a lot more than I wanted to. So obviously the numbers are based on 200 grand. There's a little bit overspend on the refurbs, but I mean I could drop the prices, but and I could take an offer, obviously, because there is a better margin in it than anticipated. So yeah, I could. What's
the agent saying with obviously the seasonality sort of thing coming into Christmas and stuff like that?
Well, that was why I really pushed just to like get them finished before going on the market. But this person we bought them from, they had a preemption, which is an option to buy them first refusal, and they had 14 days to let us know. So when we finished them and got the home reports done, they had 14 days. So I kind of wasted a little bit of time. So I left a lot of okay, like there's your option, there's the valuations of the 3 of them, away you go. And then it was like I actually thought they were going to buy them.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What did they do?
So they owned a lot of the farmland around there, and they sold them off to like your Persimmons, your Wimpy over the years, and they owned these cottages and they had their farm workers live in them historically, and since 2008 they've sat empty. And when I spoke to the farmer, she they preferred the one family to live in them, and we tried to look at it from a single development, but it made sense just to keep them as 3. But she says as part of the kind of missives that you're not holding them and not renting them, because obviously looked up the portfolio and stuff like that. So I would agree to that. Fine, they're going to be a flip. That's fine. And I thought that because they wanted to have control over who their neighbours were, that they would just buy them back and just rent them out themselves, rather than somebody Airbnb them or somebody buying them and renting them, or I think they just wanted that little bit of control. So I had in my whole head the whole time they're going to just buy them back. So when they didn't, and I went past 14 days, it was like, let's rush them and get them on the market for going to Dubai, so we can let the market do what it's going to do. But it didn't. I mean, the volume's been good enough. Like there's been enough people come through, maybe 16, 17 people through the door in the 10 days, 2 weeks I've been on the market, but not an offer. A couple of notes of interest, and a couple
early days though.
I mean, I suppose it is, but I think I was.
Thought they were going to. My
expectation was in a week I'm going to have my closing date, one offer in. I'm going to get move the staging from one house to the next house, and just put the other 2 on the market and and try and line up the sales, because I think at the time we're maybe 8 or 9 weeks to Christmas. I was like that's fine. We can get these all sold by the end of the year. It'll be fine. But now as we're approaching the end of October, I'm running out of time. So
another few wee stats off that Zoopla report then, and obviously estate agents who are listening to this, obviously we're not day-to-day in sales, so you might disagree with this, at local level, but the Zoopla report says that Scotland are bucking the trend. The deal's still happening, especially sub 300k stock. So again, that's where you thought you would be all right, because you do hear, we have heard for a while from estate agents, anything over that 300, that higher end stuff is harder. Shift. I've noticed, like, we've just been looking to we're looking to move house. We're always kind of looking at the moment to move house, but some of that kind of over the 500 mark as well. You see quite a few reduced prices, and
reduced pricing still on the market.
I was speaking to Lisa about a couple that we're going to view this weekend actually, and she's like, that one's been on for months and months and months. Like, why is it not selling? But
you think it's the stamp duty and stuff on those price points? Because we looked at moving last year, and it was, I think it was 38 grand.
We looked at it. So for us to move now just to something like that, around about the 500-600k mark, we're looking at 33,000, and that's just in tax. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's not ADS.
And you know what I mean, mate? I grudge paying for removals van.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'm feeling your pain on that one.
Last time I did it, we did it with a man with a van, which turned out to be a disaster. But this time I'll be paying for removals. But who knows, man?
Yeah. No, I think you're right though. That higher end point is definitely been stalling this whole year. You are seeing that sub 300 mark is flying and it's doing well, but. As I was saying, there's interest in these cottages, but it's not. I don't know if it's the committal. Is it the uneasiness of the market? Is it uneasiness? Is it uncertainty? Or the choice. If they
not
got
go
choice.
too much into that deal because we can talk about it. We can actually do a separate podcast on it once you get it all tied up. That'd be good. But average selling time now 37 days, up 10%. Not a crash, just a slower market. So that kind of ties in maybe a wee bit what you're seeing.
Yeah.
But average selling time 37 days. That still seems quite low for me.
Still seems quite fast, doesn't it?
It's quite fast.
Yeah.
So there seems to be. Hopefully that doesn't pick up. There's an ambulance in the background there. Looking at the map, I always like to look at the map of the UK and what house prices are doing. Glasgow up 2.1%, Edinburgh up 1.6%.
Is that from the year to year?
The year on year, annual percentage change in house prices, and you've got 5 that are in the red: Portsmouth, Aberdeen, Cambridge, Southampton and Bournemouth. So you've got the south and the South England, then you've got Aberdeen in the red.
Do we not always look at the trends that they follow, like we follow the south, and it kind of filters its way up? So that there's house price drops in London and Bournemouth and for the south.
I think going back to again why they struggle down the south is because of those higher value property.
Yeah.
And also we kind of just they're suggesting that possible there's a lot of people that are apprehensive about the upcoming budget as well. Maybe that's having a wee slowdown in the market, but I don't think we can just put it on the budget. I did hear somebody say that it's to do a lot of these really super wealthy people leaving UK as well, and there's not that demand for the higher end properties. So like, the non-doms, obviously they've clamped down on that. So and we always hear, I mean, even speaking to people in Dubai, how there's just flocks of people moving out there who have got a bit of wealth, and there's no longer the demand for these higher end properties. And predominantly in the southeast and that, you're talking about higher prices, so I think that's how they'll struggle at the moment. But that's the sales. Moving on to the rents. Just getting my Rightmove report up. So taking the data from the Rightmove rental tracker. The headlines are
City Lights.
No, City Lights only come out once a quarter, so every 3 months.
Right.
So that's Scotland data, but this is UK wide again. So advertised rents reached a new record. The average advertised rent outside London has risen 1.5% this quarter to a record £1,385 per month, 3.1% higher than a year ago. So direction of rents, I would say,
it's in line with inflation.
So that again, that's UK wide. Going at a more local level, obviously as a letting agent, I can tell you that things are still going up, but marginally.
Yeah.
And
demand's still strong.
Demand is not bad, but for certain properties, these properties have got to be good quality.
Yeah.
The kind of.
Are you now going at that stage where before you could have rented anything?
Remember I used to joke with you, right?
Yeah.
Remember you, because obviously I see up in Aberdeen, you guys used to go in and do these
high-end refurbs to get them
high-end for buy-to-let.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was like you were even putting up like wall paneling and a nice kind of blue wall and all this. I'm like, mate, what's wrong with Magnolia? And I'm kidding on with people like saying those carpets are fine and you're replacing them, and like you had to put all the kind of black trim in the bathrooms and all the rest of it, and we're just renting out anything. But you definitely, because there's a lot more properties on the market for people, there's a lot more choice. You definitely need to landlords be reinvesting a wee bit, especially at tenancy changes, even if it is just redecoration and new carpets, because the minute somebody goes in, they see it tired and you can tell straight away. It's because we have some landlords that are like, they don't even go for the redecoration after like a 3 or 4 year tenancy.
Right.
And they've got marks in the walls, holes in the walls, just like that. And they really struggle with some of these properties. Fancy making £1,500 for sending a WhatsApp? Let's take a wee break to talk about referring sellers to John and Lewis at Prime Property Auctions. The boys have paid out over £350,000 in referral fees. Myself and Stephen have both done it, and it couldn't be easier.
If you know someone selling a property, the guys will pay you £1,500 or 1% of the sale price, whatever is higher, just for passing their details. Doesn't matter if the seller is already on with an agent or not, as long as you're in direct contact with the seller, just drop the guys a message and they'll do everything from the first call to getting the property sold. If you know someone might be looking to sell or struggling to get the result with their own agent, go to the link in the show notes and send them a message now.
Sold!
It's interesting the way the market, I've said that for years, like the market trends will always change. Aberdeen, the market trend was up into 2015, 16, everything would just fly off the shelf. There were horrible dated properties that were just such huge demand, they didn't need to spend any money on them.
Yeah.
Fast forward into the dip where there's huge amounts in the market, often to do high-end refurbs to get their properties let first and get them at the top of the listings. But and then everywhere else in the UK, well, Scotland, then we're talking that that was just anything would go, and now it seems to have slowed down enough that you have to then push a little bit of a refurb and a bit of asset management into them.
Yeah, and we're obviously having to do more viewings as well, and but it's fine. Things are still moving. We're still getting stuff rented, but sometimes we're having to just tweak the price slightly as well. You know, maybe a £25, £50 just to get it away.
Right.
And you know, if it has been let out for a couple of years and we did rent it at that peak of the market, there's maybe we can't get as much as what we were getting in certain zones.
How does your clients react to that when they're going, but you've been getting me £1,000 a month for the last 2 or 3 years, now you're going get 925 or 950?
Yeah, it's always it's a difficult conversation because you just, obviously we're reading in the news here, we're reading the headlines, rents are still going up. But it just depends in that micro market. You might have in Denniston, in East End of Denniston, for example. I think last time I looked, there was like 32 2-bedroom properties.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like you're competing against all that. And then there was a shortage of 1 beds. So there was only like 5 1-beds. So then if you've got a 2-bed and you're trying to get, especially
to stand out now,
over that £1,000, we tend to find anything below, just as a general rule of thumb, anything below £1,000 a month seems to go all right. If you're trying to get in and above that, for some reason, that's where it starts getting harder.
Psychological point, isn't it?
Aye. So, and then you think to yourself, well, with the mortgage rate stabilising as well, we've said this time and time again, you look at what you're paying for rent and then you look at what you could get a first-time buyer mortgage for, and it makes sense just to buy for anybody who's, you know, sort of resident here and looking to kind of
put in roots and settle.
Aye, exactly. So then there has been an effect that way, but the supply, that's what I'm saying. So that goes inside of what I'm saying. In Rightmoves, they say supply is up 9% year on year, so a lot more choice for people on the market. Still 23% below 2019 though, the supply.
Is it?
Number of properties on the market, so it's still nowhere near balanced. What they're saying, there's still a lot more people than there is people looking for properties than there is properties. So that's why rents are still continuing to rise. Tenant demand is down 14%. Affordability is worse. 1 in 3 landlords say they're thinking about exiting. Only 43% feel prepared for the Renters' Rights Bill. Now, Renters' Rights Bill, that's an English thing. So basically, it's funny listening to all them complain because
so it's effectively the PRT, isn't it?
Yes. Aye. Yeah, so they're panicking because they think, you know, traditionally down there it's a 6-month or a 12-month lease, and then you don't need to renew it.
And they're going to lose their HMO kind of stock, and
and now they're going to be going into all these. Anyway, we'll come on to a bit more about what the government are doing because we've got some things to talk about there. Did you listen to the news this morning on the way in? No. Rachel Reeves, Chancellor, not heard it.
I should have. Maybe what's
right. Okay, we'll get into that. So coming on to government policy and a bit about the budget. So there's a lot of rumours around at the moment. Well, what's your general feel just before this budget? It comes up, I think, the 23rd of November. Like, just obviously you're a business owner, multiple business owner now. So you've got a team of staff, you know, you pay wages, you pay your tax. How are you feeling? Like,
a bit apprehensive about it because there's a couple of times where we've been looking to try and hire new staff, and you look at it going, and I was chatting to you before about trying to implement AI to see if I can make AI almost not make me hire any more staff and try and use technologies, because I'm like, well, the cost of hiring a person is extortionate. And you're going to get the productivity out of them. But I think the one that there's a few things in the rumours in the budget that was getting me, but one of the ones was the VAT threshold.
Yes,
that's going to be interesting.
So
I kind of agree with that in some aspects, because I always think that it kind of makes a bit of a level playing field.
So I heard, just to talk about that, this is what I heard. Don't know if this is the same, but so like as it stands, I think it's 85 grand.
Or 90 or something.
Yeah, it's the threshold before you have to register for VAT. And I went through all that because you know, obviously I grew my business and then I got quite quickly to that, and then I thought, oh no, I'm going to lose all my customers here because I'm having to put on 20%. But it was fine. It's just something that they understood that that's just the way it is. And, you know, we're not getting that money. It's going straight to the government.
Yeah. And I kind of, I get it, like from a business owner's point of view, it does keep you thinking that little bit small. Like a lot of people I speak to are like, oh, I'm still under the VAT threshold because I want to be that 20% cheaper. And it obviously stops, I think it stops entrepreneurship and it stops people wanting to grow because they're trying to play a little bit small. So in that respect, I think it's quite a good thing. But the thing, well, obviously for us, because we can't charge VAT on our residential property lets or sales, we're going to be eating a huge amount of cost if all the businesses we use is put on VAT.
So this is it. So if they reduce it to, the rumour is like 30 grand,
yeah.
right? So where that starts affecting us in the property is like tradesmen a lot. So a lot of tradesmen they'll keep themselves under, they're going to have to like just single contractors who don't have big teams and all the rest of it. They're going to have to add on 20%,
and they're often the best guys to get in your buy-to-let refurbs because you're keeping the price at a decent point. You're not going to a main contractor, you're going to individual subcontractor, joiners, sparkies, plumbers, painters that are under that VAT threshold that can do it for you at a decent cost, don't have big massive overheads and don't have VAT to add to it. You go and put a VAT registered company with overheads and vans and staff and overhead behind them, you're maybe looking at 40-50% increase. They have to then compete with that.
Well, hang on a minute, because that's brought another thing in. Now, that's fine. If you've got a supplier that's VAT registered and they charge you 20%, and then you have a company that's also VAT registered, then you can claim that VAT back. So you're really at no loss. Yeah. But what you said, if you are investing through a limited company and you're a limited company landlord and it's just an investment company, then you're not going to be...
No, you can't claim any of the VAT back.
You're not going to be registered for VAT. Yeah. So then effectively that everyone's costing an extra 20%. Yeah.
So this
is 20% worse off.
This is the one that worries me. But then I think from a bigger point of view, from the economy side, if your pizza place or your local kebab shop or whatever the hell, just everyone just goes VAT registered, they're not going to absorb the 20%. They're going to put it onto the markup. So you're looking at maybe huge inflation rises instantly, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Is that going to be the tipping point of a recession? Or?
Absolutely. But the whole point is, obviously, I'm complaining about Labour here, right? But I put my hand up here and say I did vote Labour. I wanted some sort of change. It's not really been changed for the good. Yeah. So the only way they seem to be able to get out of this, they keep talking about this £20 billion black hole in public finance. So the only way they seem to be able to get out of this is by raising tax. So they say, personally, I would think that it would be better to lower tax on certain things to attract investment, attract companies to hire, increase productivity. Yeah. That's for me. That's the way to go for growth. Yeah. Not drive people away in their droves and move to Dubai and lose the tax, because then you're losing all the tax because they're not paying any.
Well, think about the tax you pay as a business owner, or the national insurance contribution, or corporate tax. Absolutely. Okay, we'll try and mitigate as much as we can personally, but their businesses pay a hell of a lot of fucking tax, a hell of a lot of that.
And that's one of the reasons I went to Dubai twice this year, to see if I could
stomach it.
Suffer the heat. But no, it's not for me. But anyway, so that's the direction they're going. We will see exactly what happens.
What was the other rumours?
So the other rumours were that it would affect the one that came out today actually was they're thinking about raising the income tax by 2%, basic rate, so from 20% to 22%. Now, that's English rates, because we have our own income tax rates up here in Scotland, so that wouldn't really affect us, but it just shows you they're desperate, because they said Labour, the whole point in Labour is that they protect the working class people from, and they said no tax rises, working people and working families will not be getting tax rises. If
they force out the rich and the business owners in Dubai, who's picking up the slack?
Aye.
The working class people.
The working class, mate. So that's something for the English. That wouldn't happen with the Scottish income tax. But the other thing for property, remember we talked about previously, we broke this story about the potential for landlords to be paying national insurance on rental income.
Which is going to be personal name.
8%. That's personal name. But still, majority of landlords are still personal name landlords.
I mean, it might be the tipping point to force the exit.
Imagine the exit though. Imagine.
It'd be a mass exit, I think.
Massive. That would be, pretty sure that would be
a mass exit, because look at the changes from Section 24. Like, they've been getting hammered in personal name properties for the last almost 10 years. It might be the nail in the coffin, but...
Can you imagine the amount of portfolios that are going to come up? Just got to look at the opportunity, guys.
Of course.
Bring in the national insurance.
Have you not had a stat on this recently as well that I'm sure came from Sal, that the majority of people that own properties in their personal name only have one or two.
One property,
There's no one really got.
It'd be interesting to see the split between, if you added up all the personal name landlords and the properties they own and the corporate landlords, i.e. company name that landlords, and see what the kind of split is. Might be able to ask John Blackwood that, because we've got one today, a later session, so he might have those stats actually. And then the other one is capital gains tax. So obviously Labour looking to tax the wealthy, right? And tax the rich, because obviously that's kind of their whole ethos, like you said, is protect the working families.
So the poor personal name property owners, like landlords that might go and shit, we're just selling up because we're getting hit with national insurance, and then they're going to get hammered by capital gains as well.
Well, other rumours include capital gains tax on main homes above 1.5 million. So it probably won't affect much of Scotland. So it's like the super wealthy they're going for, do you know what I mean?
You can see why, a lot of the wealthy are just getting the twitchy feet and disappearing.
Yep. So probably less relevant for us Scots, because I don't know about you, but there's no many properties over 1.5 million
and you're
in the west coast of Scotland, but a little bit different over in the east, maybe in Edinburgh and that, but still. So the NI thing, we'll see what happens there, but all will be revealed on the 23rd of November. So
it's a few days before we do our next market update, so that'll be interesting.
Aye, so keep an eye on that, and obviously we'll report on that, as it happens. But these are all rumours, just all stuff that they're kind of, what they do is they kind of tend to throw these things out there before to see how they're kind of received. But interestingly, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, has been caught committing a criminal offence on being a landlord. She's been found out that she hadn't applied for, you need a licence, so wait till I bring up this one.
It's this morning.
I can't believe you've not heard about this.
No.
It's fucking breaking news all over, like top news story of the day. So actually, we better say that as we record this, this is Thursday, 30th October. So by the time this comes out on Monday, it's probably going to be it'll be old news, and there'll be nothing to worry about. But she might be out of job as well, because you remember what happened to Angela Rayner?
Yeah,
she got caught dodging stamp duty tax, and then she got booted. Yeah, and then there was another one as well. Remember the homeless?
The guy that
minister. No, it was a woman, and she put the rent up. And then she got found out, and she got booted as well.
So this is just the latest one.
Aye, so the latest one is Chancellor referred to ethics watchdog for unlicensed property. So the Chancellor of Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, unlawfully rented out her family home without a licence, and she's obviously. She's in the shit, basically.
What, she did it as a service accommodation?
No, right. So what happened was, right, so when you get that role as Chancellor, you get to move into number 11 Downing Street.
Right.
Beside the Prime Minister, obviously. So she's taken that residence. Right. So she's had her family home that she's rented out. Now she's gone to a letting agent, right? And she says that she never got the advice, and she didn't know anything about it, that you had to have a licence. So down in England, in certain boroughs, they have the landlord licensing scheme, but it's very kind of like, it depends on borough to borough, on the area, right? So to be fair to her, I'm thinking, was this an honest mistake? Or, I don't think there's probably any intent behind it. But still the position. These are the people that are running the country. These are the people who are setting the rules.
Can't keep their own house in order.
These are the people who are setting the rules for everybody else. And she's been renting the house now at £3,200 a month for a year now without a licence. And I think it was the Daily Mail. It was Daily Mail did it. They did a bit of investigating.
This should be your new role, like just doing investigative journalism. All these, like,
I would love to do that. But anyway, part of me thinks, right, well, at least we've got a kind of, for the next budget, at least she's a landlord. She understands it now. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully maybe those increases on landlords, maybe she'll kind of refrain on. But then part of me thinks, so I'm thinking to myself, right, well, what do you think she should be sacked for that? If it was an honest mistake?
No.
We know ourselves, right? These things are easily overlooked, right? So you think about it in Scotland, you get that email through from the landlord registration renewal. I'm sure there's been times where you've maybe
slipped
by the expiry date or something like that?
Personal name and starting out, yes. But this is why we say that property should be for professionals that treat it like a job or a business and run accordingly and do it professionally. So someone renting their own personal property out, you're always going to make mistakes because you don't know the industry.
Aye.
So yeah, I think it's a fair mistake. But like you say, she's the one that's setting the rules and implementing them for everyone else to follow. You need to be held to a higher standard.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, she's in charge of running the country's finances.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hopefully she's a smart enough woman. And you would think if you were going to rent out your house, like your family home, and you have one property, right?
Surely you've got a PA for that.
Surely you've got Google to go, what do I need to do as a landlord to rent out my property or something, or chat GPT, and it's going to come up. She's going to put that council in and it's going to say, yeah, you need a license. But think about it. I'm thinking from a letting agent point of view as well. Think about the letting agency and think about if you're that letting agent, right? Say she loses her job over that, right? And think if you're the letting agent that has been...
That's some good,
some
good PR.
For that, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But the interesting thing is the letting agency is not on the hook, right? Because legally,
it's still the landlord.
It falls back on the landlord's legal responsibility to register as a landlord, right? But really, come on,
they should have advised or pushed them.
Aye. Yeah. So then you think, did they advise? And then if they did advise, then it starts getting...
Well, that's it, yeah. And you would like to think that a reputable letting agent that she's went to would have said, you need to have X, Y, and Z. And if she's missed it, then like you say...
I mean, they must be really shit if they didn't. Because that's the first thing that we do. See, as a letting agent, the first question we ask in our onboarding form is, what's your landlord registration number?
Yeah, you need all that information up front to register and market them. But surely if they knew who she was, they'd make sure it was an even belt and bracelet approach.
Surely.
Like, do you make sure you've got this, that. So you'd like to have thought that they've done their job with us.
If you've got the Chancellor Exchequer coming to you as a client, you're going to fucking make sure you know what you're doing and get things right.
Aye, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Like, we're not fucking making this.
Something. I would like...
But it's not the letting agents, like you say, it's responsibility. The letting agent would
but this is where I want to hear the letting agent side of the story. Did they tell her and she's just no bothered their ass? And then they've no bothered their ass.
Let's even get the letting agent on the podcast. Do a special...
Track down the letting agent.
So next getting excited about this. Here we go.
But it just shows you that obviously, you know, even the people who are running the country, but then it goes into your head, who the fucking hell are people running the country? And how incompetent are they if they can't even get basics like that correct? You know?
Said it before, that no one's held accountable to their job in the government or the public sector in general, are they?
So we will see how that one pans out, and if it obviously Angela Rayner didn't last long.
It's interesting.
She was out within 2 or 3 days. It kind of, remember, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually, they just had to get rid of her. So there may be more to come. It may be just an honest mistake, and it might just be over in a couple of days.
Nah, the media will jump on it.
She'll get ripped apart.
Yeah,
and obviously, like the Tories have jumped in it as well, you know, and reform and all the rest of it. And they, you know, they say the rule makers can't be the rule breakers, you know. So
yeah, interesting. See how that one pans out.
So that is probably. Oh, let's see. There's one more here. A wee bit of data out from UK Finance. They've done a poll and they've got some data to say that 45, wait a minute, poll carried out by lender Landbay found that a quarter of brokers quizzed said that their landlords were getting ready to slim down their portfolios if they are required to pay NI, what we were just talking about, while 45% they would sell all of their properties.
Wow.
So remember you said about the
mass
exodus. So guys like you and me we'll be looking at it as opportunity, and our listeners.
Aye, absolutely. It's interesting, and next month's market update is going to be an important one because the budget will have just been announced.
Yeah, we'll be able to report on that and how that's going to affect landlords. So tune in for that one. And I've just a wee bit on kind of interest rates and stuff like that. So I think the inflation figures hovering around the 3.8%. The interest rates they've held at the last meeting, so they're 4%. Bank of England But the UK economy is pretty much flat.
Yeah.
They talked about the growth and all the rest of it. The growth's not happening.
No.
We're nearly going into backwards again.
The mortgage rates have went down. I did look at the swap rate a few days ago, and I was looking at new, my own homes coming up as well in 6-7 months. So I was like, just paying attention to it, and they've dropped down.
Right.
So you can see lending getting cheaper.
So that's a good thing for us, obviously. I have noticed this month for the lettings agency, we've not taken on a great deal of stock. Like usually we're averaging about 5 to 6 new properties a month. I think this month's only had 2.
Right.
I don't know what that
time of year.
This might be a lull, just a wee lull or something like that. Sometimes you find
October, November just a quiet time in general. Just going into winter and hunkering down. I always find opportunities. There's
always something happening. So there's always you could always find a reason why it's gone quiet, but you can never really put your finger on it. But we do have clients that are still buying, like portfolio landlords. There's still a lot of people wanting the under the 40k properties, which are pretty few and far between. Just took on one there recently. But obviously,
do you take them all on, or do you refuse some of them?
No, I'm pretty bad for that. I'll take on any old shite.
And that's because you've got staff to deal with now.
But it's sometimes I can shoot myself in the foot, and then you're like, I wish I never took this one. Because don't know if you saw my Instagram recently, we took on one in the close. You walked in and it was all graffitied and there was been a fire and all the rest of it. And that's the thing that people see as soon as they walk in the door. So we found another entrance. There's a back entrance that you can take, a side entrance. So I literally, like on the way here today in the car, I was texting the team, voice noting the team to say, make sure that you show people around that side entrance, because if we show
victims there,
if we show them in the front, then you're facing, God knows what you're facing: needles, fires, junkies, graffiti, everything.
I'm assuming that everything will rent, but it'll just be at a certain price and a certain person.
When I say we take on any old shite, I'm just having a laugh, right? It's obviously got to be up to a certain standard because it's our name above. It's no landlords in Saudi Arabia or something like that. So they're not really. Bought a
30 grand flat thinking about a 12% yield, 30% yield, so they're not really.
So I mean, so it's properly like the communal areas. That's what I'm saying, are pretty bad, but inside the actual property, it's actually pretty decent. Like it's nice.
Like buildings like that, are they factored?
No. That's part of the problem, and that's why they're under the 40k, obviously, because they struggle to sell and get. Nobody wants to take on that liability. Because a building that's not factored can quickly become a liability.
Well, funny enough, I've had one in Aberdeen, on Union Street in Aberdeen. I've got 4 in the block, so I've got a majority in the block. There's 2 commercial on the ground floor. I've got the 4. I think there's another 5 flats in it, and it's got a 17 grand roof repair. But this is like another one, and it's like I've stripped out the full wall in 2 of the flats. No, sorry, 1 of the flats, the upper one.
Yeah,
and it's like the water, like it was about to be the box gutter, and then it was the lead, then it was something else. The wall strips, you can see the water run down. So I've had scaffolding up, roof repair done, and I sent them in and go and look at it, and they're like, there's water still running down. It's like, it's not repaired. So it's like an internal downpipe that goes in and down through the building. So it's just like a fucking pain. And obviously there's no factor in it. So because it's really affected my flat, we've had to kind of take on the responsibility of, right, let's pull together the quotes, let's organise the contractor, let's try and chase the payments up for everyone else. So it can become a pain, as much as when you look at properties originally let's look at the cash flow, and if there's a factor, it almost puts you off going for it, because you're looking at going, no, the cash flow is quite shit on that. But sometimes it can be, like you say, it can become a liability if they're sitting there unfactored and you have to deal with them.
Another interesting that, obviously, there's always a risk in property, and some of these are the kind of hidden risks, if you like, that you don't see until you actually buy the property.
Yeah, I've got a good one to share, actually.
Go for it.
Something that you don't. I'm in the process of buying a service accommodation unit, and it's an old schoolhouse. I'm going to put an extension on it and convert it to.
Is this not your new holiday home?
Well, it might be used as that holiday home as well. And so the planning permission was approved 5 years ago. And for the planning permission to be approved, there was a BAT survey carried out. So I got the BAT survey through, and I'm just reading through it, and you're having to fucking jump through these hoops to listen a bit, because obviously bats are a protected species. And so the plan has elapsed, resubmitted the plan application, full new plan, and made a couple of tweaks. We're not going to be able to approve planning permission until we get the BAT survey. Bats are out in nesting season from the end of August, like their summer roosting season. They don't go back in until fucking April. And the peak of their nesting season is between mid-May and mid-August. And you're looking, so I've got to buy this thing, sit for fucking 5 months without getting the bats. But you're actually looking at the ownership. On the survey, they've said if you're replacing the full roof, the slates and the roof covering, which I will be on the renovation. I've been on an extension on the renovation. You have to have the bat, is it ecologist present where they're carrying out the work to have a toolbox shop with the contractors, and that's going to add on.
Who's paying for that?
That'll be on me. So I'm like, fucking hell, I might not even get planning for this building because of bats. But there's no bats in it. I've seen it. The original survey came back that there was none, but they did say they might need to do an additional summer roosting survey to make sure there's nothing there in the summer. But like shit that you just wouldn't expect. You're like, oh yeah, I'll just go and buy that unit and do the extension and convert it. It's fine. But that stuff it's fucking been in property 20 years next year, and you're still always coming up with something that just trips you up and you don't know. You're like, the hell was that?
That's quite topical, obviously, with it being a day before Halloween as well, dealing with bats. But interesting you should say that, because I watched a Samuel Leeds video there recently, and remember he bought that big castle that lay there in the Lanwit for years. That was exactly the same thing. It was bats.
Oh, was it?
Couldn't touch it. And he went into it on his YouTube documentary about how he couldn't do anything with it.
That's typical as well, because I didn't go and complete on it. I've had that under offer for maybe 2 months, and I've dragged my feet with it. And obviously for good enough reasons, I'm not going to go and complete it when the planning's now lapsed. And I got pushed by the seller the day, so it was last week, pushed by the seller, right, they want a $5,000 non-refundable deposit and they want you complete in 4 weeks. And I'm like, do you know what, fuck it, like, yeah, I'm going for it, I'm going ahead, the planning's done, the drawing's done, I've got my contractors kind of lined up starting to do prices, and like, I'm in motion. So paid the $5,000 non-refundable deposit, and then I found out like 2 hours later from my architect going, mate, we might struggle with this planning permission until at least into April, May, when you get an additional bat survey.
So what you think now then?
Don't know. I'm going to phone the guy that did the bat survey and speak to them and see.
That could turn out to be an absolute
nightmare, or it could be a loss of just $5,000. But again, these are the things.
$5,000's a lot of money, man. Saying it could be a loss of $5,000. You just throw away that comment. I'd be absolutely raging.
You'd be crying.
Who was that through the auction?
No, it's still just on the market. So I've not been squeezed until now, but because I've delayed it for so long, they're now squeezed me. But then again, someone's going to come across the same problem, so I could just chuck it back and pick it back up in 4 or 5 months' time if it doesn't sell. But
then you start getting a bit emotionally attached to things as well.
I mean, I've designed it for the family and how it's going to be used. Can we do Christmas is there? You know, you start getting into that. You know, number one rule of property: don't go and get emotionally attached to it. I'm emotionally attached to it, so I'm like, okay, I'll pay the $5,000.
You'll be up there looking after those bats for years to come. Right, brilliant. Right, no, that's good. And these are good learning lessons as well. Like you say, you've been in property fucking 20 years or whatever it is, and you're still learning. Makes it exciting though, doesn't it? It does keep it quite fresh and keep you like learning. Guys, thanks as always for listening. Hope you found that useful. As always, follow our social media, subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you again for another market update after this budget. It will be interesting.
Yeah. Speak to you soon, guys.
Cheers.